Have you ever been in a church and still felt alone? Let's have story time. We used to attend a big church, and we really loved it there, but I have this one image that still stands out in my mind. Service had just let out. It had been a great service, great worship, a great message. And then we stood in the atrium with my wife and our kids, and we watched life happen around us. People were making lunch plans and dinner plans and weekly meetup plans, and we just stood there and watched all of this happen around us, and we were never invited. Now, you may say, you weren't involved, you weren't this, you weren't that. But I'll tell you that we went through the process of connection that is typically prescribed. We went through the new members class. We were involved with different things. We were serving as well. But we still felt very alone in that church. And this is not an attack on big churches or mega churches or anything of the sort. Like I said, we loved being at that church. But yet and still, we still felt very, very isolated. Now, that is not why we started Pursuit Church. Had nothing to do with it at all. But yet, we know that it can also be true. That you can do anything and everything that is prescribed. The new members class, the discipleship class, be in the small groups, lead a small group. But you can still feel alone in a church where no one should walk alone. Now, it takes all kinds of churches to reach all kinds of people. And I'm not saying that Pursuit Church is the kind of church for you. However, if you've ever felt alone in a church, maybe you've not been back to church since COVID hit. I know that there is a huge demographic of people who have felt disillusioned with what church has been for them or their experience with church. But here's what I'm saying. At Pursuit Church, what God is calling us to build is inviting, it's warm, it's safe, and it is community. My wife and I want to invite you into our living room, which represents our lives, to our table, to get to know you, to worship with you, and to go deeper into the community and the family and the heart of God with one another. If you've ever felt alone at a church, we would love for you to not feel alone at ours. And so I know that this is not going to hit everybody in the same place. It's not going to hit everybody in the same feels, because our